Former President Trump, as we speak right now, is speaking at the NRA Convention in Indianapolis. In many ways, playing to that audience. Listen.
And I promise you this, with me at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, no one will lay a finger on your firearms, just as took place for 4 years when I was your president. I will uphold those glorious words, shall not be infringed.
Pretty warm reception for him, in contrast to what we heard ahead of Mike Pence's speech, of course, the former vice president under Mr. Trump, when Pence was booed. Listen.
Well, hello, NRA. I love you, too.
So some boos and an I love you, to be clear. Remember, Mr. Pence is set to testify against his former boss in a special counsel investigation looking into Mr. Trump's push to overturn the legitimate results of the 2020 election. Keep in mind the timing of this convention here. It's happening just days after mass shootings in Louisville and Nashville. And even with some of the controversy that the group has faced, its convention still seems to be a must-attend for people looking to get the White House in 2024. Not just Mr. Trump, Mike Pence, but Asa Hutchinson, Governor Kristi Noem, Governor Chris Sununu, all set to speak. Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Tim Scott sending video messages. Vaughn Hillyard is there. He is joining us now live, and I'm looking to see if you are in the room. You are, as the former president is speaking, Vaughn. I know that is always a bit of a juggling act. But walk us through some of the dynamics here, because this is the first time that we have seen Donald Trump and Mike Pence in the same place, albeit not at the exact same time, since word came out about not just Mr. Trump's indictment and arraignment, but, of course, since Mike Pence and his team said he's not going to fight this subpoena to testify against Donald Trump.
Right. It's all quite a backdrop here. And let's be very clear here about why both men are here, is because they're going to be potentially in a 2024 Republican nomination matchup, and the gun rights constituency is a large one. The organizers of this NRA convention suggested that there's anywhere up to 70,000 people here at this convention here over the course of this weekend. And when we're talking about Mike Pence and Donald Trump, I should note that I was just told by one source that the two men did not cross paths. They did not see each other, despite this being the first time that they were at the same event over the course of 2 years. But of course, it's lost on nobody from the press to anybody in this room that the ovation that one received as opposed to the former vice president, Hallie.
Put the convention itself into context, because it's not the first time that the NRA convention has been held in the days after a mass shooting. I think back, in fact, just to last year in Houston, just 3 days after that horrific attack at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. You see other examples there here. And yet, the NRA, while it has had its own share of controversy over its leadership, et cetera, over the course of the last few years, still holds enormous influence.
Right. I mean, I remember back in 2018, it was just 2 months after the Parkland shooting, and there were questions about the NRA convention that year. And it was the very weekend that prom was taking place in Parkland, and yet the then President Trump and Vice President Pence, they came. And their message then in 2018 is very similar to the one that they delivered last year after the Uvalde shooting, and the same one that we are hearing the former president deliver here now, focusing on mental health resources, focusing on security resources inside of schools. And I think it's important. The line that so far I'm going to leave with here today, Hallie, from the former president that he just delivered in a couple moments before coming on air with you was, quote, "Let's be very clear. The issue is not too many guns. The issue is too many thugs, hoodlums, and savage criminals on our streets." I'll repeat that again. The issue is not too many guns. That is coming from the former president and the individual who wants to be the president again.
Somebody else who wants to be the president for the first time is presumably Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, a Republican who has not formally thrown his hat into the race, but who is widely expected to. He didn't attend, but he did send a video message. Tell us about that, especially in light of this. I have to bring it up, Vaughn, because it's everywhere in political circles, but in light of this new, quote-unquote, putting fingers attack. Explain that.
So there's a new television ad that is from the Trump-aligned super PAC that's $1.3 million of money that is going into this TV ad. And it's referencing Ron DeSantis eating pudding with 3 fingers. Now, this comes from a Daily Beast article when an anonymous former staffer claims that he watched the Florida governor eat pudding with his 3 fingers. Now, Trump's allies have picked up on this, and this advertisement plays off of that Ron DeSantis should keep his pudding fingers away from senior entitlements, from Social Security to Medicare. It is a line that we are seeing his allies play to. So far, the former president has not used the line specifically himself, yet he's been going on the attack against Ron DeSantis, who is still considering whether to jump into this race or not.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.